Tokyo shimmered under a velvet night sky, its neon signs flickering like constellations brought down to earth. In the quiet park near Shinjuku, three figures appeared in a burst of light, small, strange, and unmistakably out of place. Bokko, the rabbit with a mischievous grin, twitched her ears. Nokko, the horse, stamped his hooves nervously. Pukko, the duck, waddled in circles, muttering about how Earth always smelled of ramen and gasoline. They were the amazing three, emissaries from a distant world, sent once again to observe humanity. But tonight, their mission was different. A ripple in the cosmic fabric had reached their sensors, a distortion that threatened not just Earth, but every world born of imagination. "Do you feel it?" Bokko whispered, her voice trembling between excitement and dread. "The stars are off-key." Indeed, the night sky hummed with a strange vibration, as though the universe itself was singing out of tune. Far across town, in a hidden hangar, the colossal robot Gigantor stood silent. His steel frame gleamed under floodlights, a monument to human ingenuity and boyish dreams. At the control console, young Jimmy Sparks adjusted his headset, listening to reports of unusual disturbances. "Gigantor," Jimmy said softly, "something's happening out there. It's not just earthquakes or storms. It feels bigger." The robot's eyes glowed faintly, as if acknowledging the boy's words. Gigantor was more than a machine, he was a guardian, bound to Jimmy's will but carrying a presence all his own. Tonight, Jimmy felt that presence stir uneasily. Suddenly, the hangar's sensors picked up a surge of energy, alien, melodic, and unlike anything on Earth. Jimmy tightened his grip on the controls. "We're going out," he declared. "If the world's in danger, Gigantor won't sit idle." Above the city, a streak of light cut through the clouds. Astro Boy soared, his rocket boots blazing trails of fire. His sensors had detected the same anomaly, the cosmic ripple that bent the laws of physics and imagination alike. Landing atop Tokyo Tower, Astro Boy scanned the horizon. His mechanical heart pulsed faster, not from fear but from anticipation. He had fought robots, monsters, and even human prejudice. But this was something stranger. Something that threatened the very stories people told themselves. "Whatever you are," Astro Boy murmured to the stars, "I'll find you. And I'll stop you." Chapter 4, First Contact. The amazing three wandered into the city streets, disguised in their human forms. Bokko, now a cheerful girl with rabbit-like features, led the way. Nokko, tall and awkward, tried to blend in, while Pukko complained loudly about Earth's traffic. It wasn't long before they encountered Astro Boy, who landed gracefully in front of them. His eyes narrowed, scanning their unusual energy signatures. "You're not from here," Astro said. "But you're not enemies, are you?" Bokko smiled nervously. "We're friends. Or at least, we want to be. Something terrible is coming, and we think you felt it too." Before Astro could reply, the ground trembled. Gigantor's massive silhouette loomed from the distance, his footsteps shaking the pavement. Jimmy Sparks leaned from the cockpit, calling out, "Astro Boy." "Who are they?" The three groups stared at one another, heroes from different worlds, united by fate but divided by suspicion. The sky tore open. A wave of darkness rippled across the stars, blotting out constellations. Neon signs flickered, their colors draining into gray. Children's laughter in the streets faltered, as if joy itself was being stolen. Astro Boy's sensors screamed. Gigantor's engines roared. The amazing three clutched one another, their alien melody rising in panic. From the void above, a shape began to form, a machine of shadows, vast and hungry, its gears grinding with the sound of forgotten dreams. It was the Imagination Eater, a construct from beyond the galaxy, designed to consume stories, songs, and hope. The heroes had found their enemy. Or perhaps, the enemy had found them. The streets of Shinjuku rattled as Gigantor's massive frame loomed closer. Astro Boy stepped forward, his fists clenched, ready to defend the city if this giant proved hostile. Bokko raised her hands in alarm, shouting, "Wait! He's not the enemy!" Jimmy Sparks, perched in Gigantor's cockpit, eyed the trio suspiciously. "Aliens? Talking animals? How do we know you're not behind this chaos?" Astro Boy's voice was calm but firm. They're not the cause. I can sense the distortion, it's coming from above, not from them. Gigantor's eyes glowed, scanning the sky. The shadow machine pulsed again, sending waves of static through the city. Neon signs fizzled, and billboards turned blank. The heroes realized they had no time for mistrust, the enemy was already feeding. Without warning, the Imagination Eater descended lower, its gears grinding like thunder. A beam of darkness shot toward the city, striking a playground. The laughter of children froze mid-sound, their voices stolen into silence. The swing sets creaked, lifeless. Astro Boy launched upward, intercepting the beam with his arm cannons. The blast ricocheted, but the force sent him tumbling into a nearby building. Gigantor raised his fists, smashing the ground to create a shockwave that disrupted the machine's descent. Bokko, Nokko, and Pukko transformed into their animal forms, darting around the machine's sensors, confusing its targeting systems. For a moment, the tide turned. But the machine's shadow expanded, swallowing entire blocks into monochrome. Tokyo was becoming a city of ghosts. In the chaos, Astro Boy landed beside Gigantor, his circuits sparking. "We need to coordinate," he shouted. But Jimmy Sparks, overwhelmed by the alien trio's antics, snapped back, "How do we know you're not part of this? You're a robot too, maybe you're connected to that thing." Astro's eyes dimmed with hurt. He had faced prejudice before, but hearing it now, in the middle of battle, cut deep. Bokko leapt between them, her rabbit ears twitching furiously. "Stop fighting. If you don't trust each other, the machine wins." Gigantor stood silent, his massive frame casting a shadow over them all. Jimmy hesitated, then sighed. "Fine. But if you betray us, Astro, Gigantor won't hold back." Astro nodded, swallowing his frustration. "Then let's prove we're allies." The machine's power spread across the city. Billboards turned blank, manga shops lost their covers, and even television screens flickered into static. Stories themselves were being erased. Children cried as their favorite heroes vanished from comic pages. Musicians found their instruments silent, their songs stolen mid-note. The Amazing Three huddled together, their alien melody trembling. "It's worse than we thought," Nokko whispered. "It's not just attacking Earth, it's erasing imagination itself." Astro Boy clenched his fists. "If it succeeds, there will be no stories, no dreams. Humanity will lose what makes it human." Gigantor raised his arms, readying for another strike. Jimmy Sparks' voice rang out, "Then we fight with everything we've got." The heroes gathered in the ruins of a drained plaza. Astro Boy, his circuits still sparking, looked at Gigantor and the Amazing Three. "We can't win alone. We need each other." Bokko nodded. "Our melody can disrupt its frequencies. Gigantor's strength can hold it back. And Astro, your heart reactor can ignite the light it fears." Jimmy Sparks hesitated, then extended his hand toward Astro Boy. "All right. Allies." Astro clasped his hand firmly. Gigantor's eyes glowed brighter, as if acknowledging the pact. The Amazing Three transformed back into their human forms, smiling with relief. Astro Boy stood atop a ruined building, scanning the horizon. His sensors detected the ripple spreading beyond Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, even Hokkaido were beginning to lose their stories. Jimmy Sparks guided Gigantor through the streets, the robot's massive frame clearing debris. Children stared up at him, their eyes wide with awe but dulled by the absence of imagination. Bokko, Nokko, and Pukko followed, their alien melody humming faintly, trying to restore fragments of color wherever they passed. But the effect was temporary. The Imagination Eater's hunger was relentless. The group gathered in a half-lit library, its shelves stripped of words. Books lay open, their pages blank, as though the stories had fled. Astro Boy placed his hand on one of the empty volumes. "This is more than destruction. It's erasure. If we fail, humanity won't just lose its heroes, it will lose its ability to dream." Jimmy Sparks frowned. "Then we need a plan. Gigantor can fight, but brute force won't be enough." Bokko's ears twitched. Our melody disrupts its frequencies. But it's weak alone. If we combine it with Astro's reactor and Gigantor's power, maybe we can strike at its core. Nokko added, but we'll need to lure it into a place where its shadow can't spread unchecked. Pukko quacked nervously. And what if it eats us before we even try? Astro Boy's eyes glowed with determination. Then we fight anyway. Because if imagination dies, so does hope. Chapter 13, The Siege of Shinjuku. The Imagination Eater descended again, its gears grinding like thunder. Shinjuku's skyscrapers flickered into monochrome, their neon signs collapsing into silence. Gigantor charged forward, his fists smashing into the machine's shadow limbs. Astro Boy soared upward, firing his arm cannons into its core. The amazing three transformed into their animal forms, darting around the machine's sensors, their melody echoing through the streets. For a moment, the city pulsed with color again, children laughed, music returned, and billboards flickered with life. But the machine retaliated, unleashing a wave of static that sent Astro crashing into Gigantor's chest. The two heroes staggered, barely holding their ground. Bokko shouted, "It's learning. It's adapting to our attacks." Astro Boy rose from the rubble, his circuits sparking. Gigantor steadied him, shielding the boy with his massive frame. Jimmy Sparks called out, "Astro, I was wrong to doubt you. You're not part of this thing, you're fighting harder than anyone." Astro smiled faintly. "We're all fighting. That's what matters." The amazing three joined them, their melody swelling louder, weaving into Astro's reactor pulse. Gigantor's engines roared, amplifying the resonance. Together, they created a wave of light that struck the Imagination Eater, forcing it back into the sky. For the first time, the machine faltered. Its gears screeched, its shadow limbs recoiled. Together, they created a wave of light in song, steel, spirit, and melody united. The harmony struck the machine's core, piercing its shadow, shattering its gears. The Imagination Eater screamed, its body dissolving into starlight. The void filled with color, the stars sang again, and Earth below shimmered with stories restored. The heroes floated in orbit, watching Earth glow brighter than ever. Tokyo's neon signs flickered back to life, manga pages filled with words again, and children laughed as their heroes returned. Astro Boy smiled. "We saved more than a city. We saved imagination itself." Jimmy Sparks patted Gigantor's console. "And we did it together." The amazing three giggled in their animal forms, whispering, "The stars will always sing, as long as friends fight together." As dawn broke over Earth, the heroes descended, their silhouettes framed against the rising sun. The battle was over, but the harmony of imagination would live forever.